जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे Hare Krishna. So I wish you all a blissful Radhastami today, 11th September 2024. Today, in the first part, I would like to share this Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 12th chapter, and verse number 24 for 10 to 15 minutes. Then the second part, I would like to read out His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj. He had written a wonderful book, Srimati Radharani. So that is the second part. And later we will take the announcements. Thank you very much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devin Saraswatin Vyasam Tado Jayam Budirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Buddhamasloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayite Girim Yat Kripatvam Mahamande Shri Guru Tinataram Paramananda Madhavam Sarvasatguna Mahatme Yesha Krishnam Anuvratah Ranti Deva Yuvo Daro Yayatir Yiva Dharmikaha. Parshit Maharaj had been glorified continuously because his Jataka karma is being projected, and he is going to be a wonderful devotee, and he will bring all name, fame, good fortune to all these descendants. Now we will read this verse and also understand how wonderful his birth is and how he is going to descend. Translation: This child will be almost as good as Lord Sri Krishna by following in his footsteps. In magnanimity, he will become as great as King Rantideva, and in religion, he will be like Maharaja Yayati. Hare Krishna. Very big purport is given by Srila Prabhupada, and here the three great personalities have been compared. This child will be almost as good as Lord Sri Krishna. How? Parikshit Maharaj is not Krishna, but he is following the Supreme Lord in footsteps. That's why he is as good as Lord Krishna, but he is not Krishna. Okay. So the second personality is compared is Rantideva. King Rantideva is very famous for his charity and magnanimity. And finally, in religion, Parikshit Maharaj is compared to Maharaj Yayati. So I will just read out uh, how Parikshit Maharaj has followed the footsteps of the Supreme Lord Krishna. This last instruction of Lord Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita is that one should give up everything and should follow in the footsteps of the Lord alone. Less intelligent persons do not agree to this great instruction of the Lord, as ill luck would have it. But one who is actually intelligent catches up with this sublime instruction and is immensely benefited. Foolish people do not know that association is the cause of acquiring qualities. So yeah, association, the people whom we mingle, the gadgets with whom we are attached. This is talking about our qualities, our behavior, our attitude. If we are too much attached to material gadgets and our Consciousness is very materialistic. And also, if we associate with the thieves, we get their qualities. But if you associate with saintly people, we also get saintly qualities. So this Sangatya is the all in all. So association with fire makes an object hot, even in the material sense. Therefore, association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead makes one qualified like the God. He is not the God, but he as good as the Lord. The finer qualities we will, imbibe or acquire from the Supreme Lord Himself. Mm. As we have discussed previously, one can achieve 78% of the godly qualities by the Lord's intimate association. See, 78% we can become as good as God. That benefit is there. So the Lord is also called Namo Brahmani Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. So he is the well-wisher of the cows, brahmanas, etc. He likes the Brahminical culture, but it is not the caste Brahmins. That um, misconception we need to delete from our mind. So it is only the Brahminical culture, Brahminical qualities, the people who have been following, and that is really attracting the Supreme Lord. So to follow the instructions of the Lord is associate with the Lord. The Lord is not a material object whose presence one has to feel for such association. The Lord is present everywhere and at all times. It is quite possible to have his association simply by following his instruction, because the Lord and his instruction and the Lord, his name, fame, attributes, and paraphernalia are all identical with him, being absolute knowledge. That's why there is no difference between his name and he himself. Abhinnam. His name is himself is the same. So Maharaj Parikshit associated with the Lord even from the womb of his mother up to the last day of his valuable life. And thus he acquired all the essential good qualities of the Lord in all perfection. Right from the birth, he had the association of the Lord, because to protect him, the Supreme Lord himself entered into the womb of Uttara. Then Parikshit Maharaj witnessed the Lord Darshan, and he followed his qualities there. So second personality is Rantideva. You all know this Rantideva, very famous for his charity. So an ancient king prior to the Mahabharata period, referred to by Narada Muni while instructing Sanjaya, as mentioned in Mahabharata Drona Parva 67. He was a great king, liberal for his hospitality and distribution of foodstuff. In this way, he is very famous. Even Lord Sri Krishna praised his acts of charity and hospitality. He was blessed by the great Vasishtha Muni for supplying him cold water, and thus he achieved the heavenly planet. He used to supply fruits, roots, and leaves to the rishis, and thus he was blessed by them with fulfillment of his desires. Just like Narada Maharshi, when he was in his childhood, he served all the saintly people in the Chaturmasya, and he made them sit and he made them bath, and he supplied all the fruits, roots, and at the end, the rishis who were residing there, they were actually passing by, and in during Chaturmasya, Narada Maharshi and his mother had a great opportunity to serve them. Thereby, Narada became Narada Rishi, and he became son of Lord Brahma, and he got this saintly quality. Similarly, Rantideva also, he used to supply these fruits, roots, and he is very famous for the hospitality, how to receive a guest and how to treat him. In this way, he was an expert, so he also achieved the heavenly planet. Okay, then although a Kshatriya by birth, Rantideva never ate flesh in his life. This is an important point to note down. Kshatriyas, they can hunt the animals and they can also eat it, but it is not recommended, to go to a shop and purchase 1 kg chicken, mutton and eat for our tongue's sake. That is not allowed. But the Rantideva is such a wonderful king. He is saintly king, Raja Rishi. He never ate flesh in his life. See the beautiful quality. Because he had the association of the rishis, saintly people. He served them to the best of his level. He got this divine quality. So Rantideva was especially hospitable to Vasishtha Muni, and by his blessings only he attained the higher planetary residence. He is one of those pious kings whose names are remembered in the morning and evening. Okay, fine. And the last personality compared to Parikshit Maharaj is Yayati. In the Yayati description, we have so much about Sanatan Dharma. Maybe I will take you to that small paragraph also. Yayati, the great emperor of the world and the original forefather of all great nations of the world, please note this point, is the great emperor, original father, great nations of the world who belong to the Aryan and Indo-European stock. So he is the son of Maharaj Nahusha, and he became the emperor of the world due to his elder brothers becoming a great and liberated saintly mystic. He ruled over the world for several thousands of years and performed many sacrifices and pious activities recorded in history. Although his early youth was very lustful and full of romantic stories, he fell in love with Devayani, the most beloved daughter of Shukracharya. Devayani wished to marry him, but at first he refused to accept her because of her being a daughter of a Brahmana. According to the Shastras, a Brahmana could marry the daughter of a Brahmana. Actually, that is the proper etiquette. They were very much cautious about Varnashankara population in the world. Shukracharya amended this law of forbidden marriage and induced Emperor Yayati to accept Devayani. Here where the problem started. Devayani had a girlfriend named Sarmishta, who also fell in love with the emperor and thus went with her friend Devayani. Sukracharya forbade Emperor Yayati to call Sarmishta into his bedroom, but Yayati could not strictly follow his instruction. So thereby both of them, they fall victims. He secretly married Sarmishta also and begot sons by her. When this was known by Devayani, she went to her father, who is the father, Sukracharya, and lodged a complaint. Yayati was as much attached to the Devayani, and when he went to his father-in-law's place to call her, Shukracharya was very angry with him and cursed him to become impotent. That means he may not be useful for sexual intercourse. So Yayati begged his father-in-law to withdraw his curse. But the sage asked Yayati to ask youthfulness from his sons and let them become old as the condition of his becoming potent. So um, the point to understand here is they both, became victims of this Maya. One is very attached to his daughter, the other is attached to another woman. There is a problem in this material world. So he had been cursed, Ayati had been cursed. Okay, he had five sons, two from Devayani and three from Sharmishta. From his five sons, namely Yadu. Please hear these names very carefully. This is not a fake story, and this is the historical event happened. So those sons' names is Yadu, Turvashu, Druhyu, Anu, and Puru. Five famous dynasties. No, five famous dynasties evolved from these five personalities. The Yadu dynasty from Yadu and Yavana dynasty from Turvashu. So till today, this Yavana dynasty is there. That is called Turk. It is in a Turkey, Muslims, and actually these Kshatriya kings spread their population all over the world, and they have settled in this area called Turkey. And though they are all actually Yavanas originally, but they became Turks later. Then third one, Bhoja dynasty. The fourth one is Mlecha dynasty. Actually, the Greeks, they are actually from Devayani children, actually. This is called actually Mlecha dynasty. Then Paurava dynasty, all emanated to spread all over the world. He reached the heavenly planets by dint of his pious acts. But he fell down from there because his self-advertisement and criticizing other great souls. There's a problem. If anybody criticizes or finding fault, doing aparadha, they have to come back to this material world. They have to take the result of that. So we should be very careful. We should not behave like Yayati. So after his fall, his daughter and grandson bestowed upon him their accumulated virtues, and by the help of his grandson and friend Sibi, he was again promoted to the heavenly kingdom, become one of the assembly members of Yamaraj. Oh, very great. With whom he is staying as a devotee. Oh, so Yayati, he took the youthfulness of one of his sons and he performed yajna. Then he again achieved upper planetary system like heavenly kingdom. And also he became a co-member of Lord Yama also. Okay, what happened next? He performed more than 1,000 different sacrifices, gave in charity very liberally, and was a very influential king. His majestic power was felt all over the world. His youngest son agreed to award him his youthfulness when he was troubled with his lustful desires, even for 1,000 years. See, he took the youthfulness from his son and he enjoyed with all his lusty desires. So there is a problem with the materialistic people. If you are not 100% Krishna consciousness, still you have something to enjoy, then you have to take the reaction. Okay, later what happened? Finally, he became Yayati, detached from worldly life and returned to youthfulness again to his son Puru. So he returned that youthfulness. He wanted to hand over the kingdom to Puru, but his noble man and the subjects did not agree. But when they explained to his subjects the greatness of Puru, they agreed to accept Puru as the king. And thus Emperor Yayati retired from family life and left home for the forest. So there in the forest, he meditated on the Supreme Lord and he achieved the highest benediction. So in this way, Parikshit Maharaj actually compared with these three kinds of personalities. So the one is uh, which we have been discussing. Uh,
Rantideva.
Rantideva, who is famous for charity. Actually, first, compared to Lord Krishna's footsteps following, and King Rantideva, and thirdly, Maharaj Yayati. We also came to know that different dynasties evolved from Maharaj Yayati in the Turks and also Greek and other European countries. The population who are residing there, they are none other than from our indigenous, that means from India only. Okay, so thank you very much for patiently listening. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So now I'm going to read out the second part for 10 minutes. The time is 6:30. Maybe another 10 minutes I will take to read out. His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Sam Maharaj, he had written this wonderful book, Srimati Radharani. And I'm just going to read out the preface only. There are nearly 60 chapters are there. One is supposed to possess this book and dedicatedly read this book. And thereby we will come out of the confusion and misconception about Srimati Radharani. Okay, so let me read out. Jadi Gaura na haito, tabe ki hoito kemo na dharitam de. Radhara mahima prema rasa sima, jagate janate ke. If Lord Gaura had not appeared as the Yuga Avatara of this age of Kali, then who would have become of us? How could we have tolerated living? Who in these words would have even learned about the topmost limits of loving mellows that comprise the glory of Sri Radha? This sung by Vashigosh. And Bhakti Purushottam Maharaj collected various acharyas and sastras and he compiled in this book. So this book is very wonderful book. Okay, just like Sri Krishna, just like Krishna is the fountainhead from of all forms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the same way, Radharani is the fountainhead of all forms of goddesses like Lakshmi, Rukmini, Satyabhama, etc. She is the Moola Prakriti or the original Prakriti. So we cannot think that, recently people celebrated one festival What is the festival?
Varalakshmi
Hmm.
Puja.
So
Varalakshmi Puja. Mhm.
actually, they need to call it Lakshmi only, but they prefixed it as Varalakshmi. That means the people who have got lot of sense gratification, they are taking Vara. They are asking boons from Lakshmi Devi without Krishna. That's why they named it Vara Mahalakshmi, something like that. So without Narayan, they wanted everything. So if anybody reads this book, Srimati Radharani, all these misconceptions will be wiped out. So all these Lakshmis, Rukmini or Satyabhama, every wonderful personality of lady, they all come from Srimati Radharani. But people in general had little knowledge about Radharani before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on this planet. He spread the glories of Srimati Radharani among the common people. The subject matter of Radharani is very confidential. Even the Vedas only mention Sri Radha in brief. That's why Lord Krishna personally came to this earth to explain Radha Tattva and Srimati Radharani's pastime to everyone. But not all are qualified to hear or speak of Srimati Radharani. One must hear about Radharani from bona fide Vaishnava Acharyas in the line of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then only we can understand about Srimati Radharani. So even Maharaj was mentioning one time, there are Sri Vaishnavas, there are Madhvas, and they are all Sri Vaishnavas worship the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Narayan. And even Madhvites, they also worship Krishna. But the point is how much they know about Srimati Radharani. So before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, there wasn't any worship of Srimati Radharani. Those who worship Vishnu, they are called Vaishnavas. Those who worship only Krishna, they are called Karshanas. But those who worship Srimati Radharani with Krishna, they are called Gaudiyas. So our Sampradaya is from Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So we are very fortunate to hear and to learn more and more about Srimati Radharani. So let's move further. We have prepared this collection of pastimes of Srimati Radharani as they have been described in different scriptures and also explained by the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Some of the pastimes are also collected from books about Vrajamandal Parikrama, where the stories told are not referenced by any Shastra but have been explained by Vrajavasis or great sadhakas of Vraja. Before describing the pastime of Radharani, the book explains Radha Tattva and the purity of Sri Radha's love for Sri Krishna. This information is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, written by Srila Krishnadas Kavidas Goswami, as it has been translated and explained by Srila Prabhupada. Before reading this book, one must be convinced that Sri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Srimati Radharani is his eternal consort. That point we have to understand and follow it. She is the personification of his pleasure giving potency. She is not some ordinary lady. This book is meant for devotees of Lord Krishna who worship him under the direction of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The six Goswamis, our predecessor Acharyas, and our founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. There are unlimited pastimes of Radharani. These are but a few only. See, this whole book collection, though it has got some 60 chapters, but Maharaj says it is only, a small glimpse. The other day in Vinay Prabhu's house, we had some pastimes like how Radharani appeared and some Julan pastimes and her appearance in the transcendental world, spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan. And these things actually elevate us to understand who she is. So we hope devotees will enjoy reading this book and develop more devotion to this lotus feet of Srimati Radharani. It is very important for us to serve Radharani because only by her mercy one can attain love of Krishna. I have researched many different literatures describing the pastimes of Srimati Radharani. What I have understood by the mercy of Guru and Gauranga, I have tried my best to put into the English language. I cannot claim everything I have written will be perfect. If someone finds any mistakes, then kindly consult with some more qualified Vaishnava to clear your doubts. I hope Srimati Radharani will excuse me. So Maharaj is begging forgiveness. If I have committed any grave offense by publishing this book, see, when Sukadeva Goswami was narrating the pastimes of Rasamandal, he had done nine cantos and he was about to enter the 10th canto. Then these gopis appeared in the heart of Sukadeva Goswami, and they asked him, why are you going to tell all secrets about these are all actually our personal pastimes? How can you be able to explain to the people in public? There are so many scholars and so many jnanis, rishis, saintly people, they are all sitting, and you are going to talk about the intimate personal relationship with which we have with the Supreme Lord. We are all female, you know. How can you do this? Then actually there was a conversation like that. Then Sukadeva Goswami, he had determined, if I cannot reveal all these things, you know, how people will be elevated, how they can able to understand who is Krishna, who is Radha, who are all the gopis. Then gopis said, okay, if you are so uh, firm in your conviction to explain, at least don't reveal our names. Then he agreed for that, and that also he could not able to control. Somewhere he uttered Radha's name. Mm. This way, this subject matter is very sensitive and very confidential. So at the same time, I feel that this inspiration within me to publish a book on Srimati Radharani pastimes must have come from her. Otherwise, how can I proceed on this most difficult job? I am publishing this book with a feeling that she must be behind this endeavor. How anything can be mentioned about her without her sanction? There are many pastimes of Srimati Radharani. If she desires and gives her blessings to me, maybe in future we can publish those. Your servant, Bhakti Purushottam Swami from Sridham Maya. So very nice. Uh, Finally, I will conclude with three Shaktis of Srimati Radharani. The internal potency, which is known as Swarupa Shakti or Chit Shakti, have three aspects. What are they? Sandhini Shakti is his aspect of eternal existence, the Lord's existential potency by which he maintains his existence. The essential portion of Sandhini potency is Shuddha Sattva. Lord Krishna's existence test upon it. Krishna's mother, father, abode, houses, bedding, seats, and so on are all transformation of Shuddha Sattva. Whatever the Supreme Personality of Godhead he used in Gokul, Vrindavan, or Madhura, whatever, they're all called Shuddha Sattva, very transcendental. So then another part of our Shakti is Samvit Shakti, is his aspect of cognizance or cognitive potency, which is also accepted as knowledge, by which potency the Lord knows himself and causes others to know him. The essence of the Samvit potency is knowledge that Supreme Personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna. So then the third aspect of Radharani's Shakti is Hladini Shakti. So the number one is Sandhini Shakti, and number two is Samvit Shakti, and third one is Hladini Shakti. Is his aspect of bliss by which the Lord gets pleasure and devotees are nourished. Oh, very good. By this, he possesses transcendental bliss and causes his devotees to experience the bliss. Now we will discuss particularly about Hladini Shakti. Hladini Shara Prema, Prema Sara Bhava, Bhavera Paramakasta, Nama Mahabhava. The essence of Hladini potency is love of God. The essence of love of God is emotion, bhava, and the ultimate development of emotion is Mahabhava. Like this book keeps on explaining about the Tattva. So first and foremost, we should understand that Radharani is not an ordinary girl and she is not even a special lady, but she is the pleasure potency, Radhini Shakti of the Supreme Lord. And she is none other than Krishna himself. And from Krishna's right side came Balaram, from Krishna's heart left side came Srimati Radharani. Like that, the Lord expands himself like innumerable avatars, Nana avatara makarodu bhuvaneshu kintu, but Krishna swayam sambhavat param pumanyo. Even this Saturday we have Ekadasi. There are at least 24 Ekadasis in a year. So this Ekadasi Devi also came from the body of the Supreme. So like that, from the Supreme Lord himself, so many avatars come out, expansions may come out, but Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So this book establishes the firm faith by the readers that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and Radharani is a pleasure potency, Hladini Shakti. Without Radharani's mercy, nobody can get Krishna's blessings. Okay, thank you very much. Wish you all blissful Radhastami. I will stop my session. If you have any clarifications on how to celebrate Radhastami, you can unmute yourself and come on the video. Hare Krishna.